Namaste all. Thank you for clicking my video. Welcome to today's video session. I'm glad to meet you all. Today in this video lecture, I'm going to deal with direct speech and indirect speech in English. Okay, well, before going to the today's session, I have a question for you. How do you feel English grammar for you? What's your opinion of English grammar? Well, most of you feel probably it's easy and you like it. But I have heard some opinions also saying that English grammar or grammar in English is like hammer on the head. But it's not so. In fact, in reality, grammar helps us learn language systematically. It tells us how to approach a language. It tells us in which path we have to go to particular concept of a language. So we always learn a language along with grammar. Okay, let's come to today's topic. It's direct speech and indirect speech. Let's see what is direct speech and what is indirect speech in the beginning. Let me come to the word direct speech. The word direct says something which is done directly. In the sense, when somebody's speech is used as it is, exactly the words of that speaker directly, that becomes a direct speech expression. For example, let me give you an example. The teacher said, I will ask you a question. If I repeat the same sentence, the teacher said, I will ask you a question, that becomes direct speech. So here you can see we use a pair of quotation marks to quote the words of the teacher, I will ask you questions. So, when you want to report the teacher's sentence to somebody else, you make certain changes and the speech becomes indirect. Therefore, that is the indirect speech. What you do here, you report the speech to somebody. Therefore, it is reported speech. So, that we call indirect speech or reported speech. So when you report somebody's speech to somebody or the other person, then some changes do happen there. Let's see all them. So before going to that again, I give you one more examples. Why? What's the use of this changing direct speech into indirect speech? Let me give you an example. Ram said to Ravi, I am suffering from fever. Ram said to Ravi, I am suffering from fever. Here, I am suffering from fever is in double inverted commas. Within double inverted commas or a pair of quotation marks are used to quote the words of Ram. So, what do you come to know about this? That Ram is suffering from fever. So, when Ravi goes home, he tells his parents, Ram said, I am suffering from fever. If Ravi uses the same words what Ram told him, who is actually suffering from fever? Yes, Ravi has to change I am suffering into he is suffering while reporting. This change in the reporting make the sentence clear. Otherwise, who will suffer? It is Ravi who suffers. Parents may think that Ravi is suffering from fever. So therefore, changing from direct speech to indirect speech follows certain rules in grammar. I have a simplified version of the same here. So let me give you one more sample examples. Let's see one sample example. See, Ram said to Ravi, I will come to this place tomorrow, or I'll come here tomorrow. You see in the sentence, Ram said to Ravi, I will come here tomorrow. I will come here tomorrow is within double inverted commas, and that's a direct speech. When you write down the sentence using double inverted commas, exactly as the way Ram expressed or Ram said it, that becomes direct speech. So when you change this into indirect speech, you make certain changes. Those changes are important. Let's notice them in this sample sentence. Okay, let's come to the subject first. Ram said to Rahim is there here. You see a verb here, said to Rahim. So the verb said to Rahim becomes told Rahim in reported speech. Why? Because when the conversation is between two persons, Ram and Rahim, the verb said changes into tell or told. Past tense of the tell here, that is told. Because it signifies here that the conversation is between two persons. Okay, so the reporting verb change is the first change you notice. So the first change you have to make while changing direct speech into indirect speech is reporting verb change. So let's see some more possibilities of reporting verb changes later. So let me make you clear. The first change is reporting verb change. Let me go ahead in this example. So here Ram told Rahim. Then the sentence says, I will come here tomorrow. Right? That becomes, I changes here as he. You remove the quotation marks. That's a thing you observe in indirect speech. Ram told Rahim. You remove the quotation marks and introduce that. It's not mandatory that you have to use the word that. You can drop the that also. So you can say Ram told Rahim that, or without that you can say Ram told Rahim, I will becomes he would. I will becomes he would here. So Ram said becomes Ram told, the first change, reporting verb change. The second change you notice in the sentence is I becomes he. Here I is referring to which subject? That is Ram. The pronoun here I changes into he. Therefore, the second important change that we make here is pronoun change or change of the pronoun. The pronoun I in the direct speech sentence becomes he in the reported speech. Why do we have to change here like this? Say, in one particular place, Ram tells the sentence to Rahim, and Rahim goes to his home and reports the sentence to his parents. Can he say I there? The same is the case in the earlier example, right? So he cannot say I there because the place is different and Ram has become a third person. The conversation is now between Rahim and his parents. Therefore, I becomes he. So you change the pronoun I into he. There the second change happens, that is change of pronoun. Yes, let's go to the sentence ahead. In the sentence ahead, you see I becomes he and I will come becomes he would come. You see, will come becomes would come. So the word will becomes would. Here, would is the past equivalent of will. That means the tense of the original sentence changed into the corresponding past tense. This is the third rule. The change in the tense. That is the third rule. You make the change of the tense into the corresponding past tense. So you see, will change becomes would change. Let's see those remaining changes later. But you see the third important thing, that is tense change. Okay. So here the sentence is I will come here. So when we change it into indirect speech, Ram told Rahim that he would come. Will come becomes would come here. No, he's in the home reporting his parents. Can he say here? No, he can say only there because the communication was made somewhere in the ground. Let's think it's in ground. So there, it becomes there. So the word here changes as there. What do you observe? When you say here, come here, for example, come here, that means it is near for us. When you say there, that's far, distant. The nearness of the direct speech changes into far or distant. That is the fourth important change. So in simple, you can notice in this sentence, there are four changes. Even the last word, he says, I will come here tomorrow. That becomes he would come there the next day. Tomorrow becomes the next day. Place here changes as there. Time tomorrow changes as the next day. So clearly you see here the nearness of time and place changes into distance or far. This happens because change in the time of the sentence, change in the time of the in context of the sentence and place of the sentence. So these are the four changes you notice. That is change of reporting verb, change of pronoun, change of tense, and change in the proximity or nearness. Proximity is the other word, nearness. So there are four changes that we make. Let me go to one change after another. Let's deal with them and then let's go to some examples. Okay. Let's come to the first change of reporting verb. While changing the reporting verb, the change is usually made based on the type of sentences. You see, there are four types of sentences. They are declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. Based on the nature of these sentences, the reporting verb changes in the indirect speech. Let's take the example of declarative sentence. For example, the example I gave earlier is an example for declarative sentence. See, I will come here tomorrow. It's just a statement. It doesn't involve any feeling of certain emotions or feeling of certain emotions, or it isn't a request or command. It's not an order also. It's not a question. It's a statement. It's an assertive or declarative sentence. So, when you make a sentence which is declarative or assertive, the direct speech is introduced using the word said, right? That changes into, if the sentence is given without an object, then we can say said that. Say for example, in this example, if it is Ram said, without the object or Rahim is given, then you can simply say Ram said that in the indirect speech. If the object Rahim or any object is given, there the reporting verb said in the direct speech changes into told to indicate it's a conversation between two. That is the difference. You see, you say something to somebody, whereas you tell somebody something. That means when you use the word tell or told in past tense, it's a conversation between two. There is always an object. It's a transitive verb. It takes an object immediately after that. Whereas in case of said, it isn't so. You can say something or you can say something to somebody, whereas you always tell somebody. There is a person after the word tell. There is a noun after that, object after that. So in this case again, said to Rahim becomes told Rahim. Okay, so then it can also become, if it's a reply to a question, answered. If it is a statement, stated that. If it is announcement, announced that. So depending upon the nature of the sentence used in direct speech, you change the reporting verb. Same is applicable to interrogative sentences. So let's take the example. Ram said to Rahim, will you come? In the question, will you come is a question, ends with a question mark. So here, when you change this, you change the sentence. A said is there in the reporting verb, used as a reporting verb in direct speech, that becomes, it's a question, therefore, asked Rahim, questioned Rahim inquired, all these words are possible. Okay? Or if it's a series of questions, interrogated. These are the different reporting words possible for an interrogative sentence. So in this case, you can say Ram asked Rahim, or Ram questioned Rahim if he would come. Will you come? Will you come becomes if he would come. So you observe here that when you change the yes or no question of direct speech, interrogative sentence, which is of the type of yes or no answer, you use the word if or whether to introduce that in the indirect speech. Okay, let's move on to the third type of sentences like imperatives. For example, if somebody orders someone as a teacher said to students, close the door. Here, the close the door is an order. Or if you request somebody, please bring something, that's an imperative sentence. In this case, when you change these kind of direct speech sentences into indirect, you use the reporting verbs like requested that, or ordered that, etc. So, ordered me to do, requested me to do. You see, after the verb request in indirect speech, you use to do, that is infinitive. The verb, second verb in the sentence is introduced using to do format. So, for example, in this case, the teacher ordered the student to close the door, or told the student to close the door. So here you observe, requested, please bring me a glass of water. The teacher requested a student to bring a glass of water. Like that, you can change this. Anyhow, the last one is exclamatory type, where you see sudden emotions. So these are introduced with exclaim, joy, with sudden emotion, such other words. Okay. Likewise, depending upon the sentence, type of the sentence, you choose the reporting verb. The second change we noticed in the beginning is change of pronoun. You all know that a pronoun is a word used alternative to noun. For example, if I use the sentence where noun Sachin plays for India, I change that as he in the second sentence. The word he here is a pronoun used as an alternative to noun Sachin. You know about different types of pronouns. I have given that in the description below. You can see a chart in the PowerPoint presentation given as a link. Please go to the description also after the video, or and see the different possibilities of pronoun. You have subject pronoun, you have object pronoun, you have reflexive pronoun. Say for example, I is a subject pronoun, and you have the object form of me and myself as a reflexive form of it. So basically you have three persons, first person, second person and third person, and a singular form and plural form of it. You see, first person I and the plural form is we. Second person you and the plural is you again. And in third person you have he, she, it, and the plural is they. So when you come to changing direct speech into indirect speech, we make second change, that is pronoun change. This pronoun change happens because of the change in the context again. So for example, if I go to my same example, there is Ram said to Rahim, I will come here tomorrow. In this sentence, you see, I is a pronoun used by Ram. When Rahim goes to home and reports that to his parents, the situation is changed. It has changed. Context is different. There, he changes the word I into he. So, you observe like this. The pronoun I can change as he. If it is a female, she. Similarly, you can change as you only, or stay as you only, or he, him, etc. Depending upon the context, it's very important that The context of the speech decides pronoun. One has to be very careful while choosing the proper pronoun here, because the context may lead to confusion. So very important to notice what pronoun is needed in what context here. That's important. Okay, let's move on to the third change, that is tense change. Tense change is important because basically that happens because of change in the situation again, right? For example, when a direct speech sentence is uttered in one particular context, when the situation changes into the other, the time of the action, the time of the sentence is past. So therefore, naturally, the direct speech of the sentence, the tense of the direct speech changes into corresponding past tense. Corresponding is related past tense. For example, if there is a present tense sentence, that becomes past. Simple present becomes past. For example, I eat my breakfast at 8. I ate. That changes. Eat becomes 8. Actually, there are two rules related to simple present. When the sentence of simple present is a universal truth, or it is still true even after the situation, you can also cling on to. You can also you can also use the original tense itself. So, for example, if you say London is beautiful than, or London is more beautiful than New York. Here, if you feel that the concept more beautiful is still true, you can keep the same sentence. You need not change the sentence as is beautiful as, is most beautiful as, more was more beautiful. So you observe here, while changing direct speech into indirect speech, if the fact remains the same, though the situation changed, if the fact of the sentence remains same, you can keep the present tense, or you can stick to the rule of changing the tense and you can go to the past also. But this doesn't happen in certain exceptions like universal truth. If you say the sun rises in the east as a direct speech sentence, can you say that the sun rose in the east? Can this become so? No, it happens always, therefore rises. So likewise you observe, corresponding past tense is followed in most of the cases. So you use simple present takes simple past tense takes past perfect, like that. Please again go through the PPT given in the description, that will give you a detail, a chart of how tense change happens in direct speech to indirect speech. Okay, so that's the third change. Then as for reporting verb change is concerned, there is one more exception. When the direct speech is given with the present tense reporting verb, the tense of the indirect speech or reported speech doesn't change. Say for example, if the sentence is as Ram says to Rahim instead of Ram said to Rahim, the rest of the sentence doesn't change in the area of tense. Because even proximity also, because when the reporting verb says, the situation hasn't changed. Say for example, you are attending some group discussion. So you know about GD, group discussions for the selection of jobs. So there some people sit to, a group of people discuss certain subject. There, when one takes the turn to from other, there he says, so what's your opinion? Right? In that case, the situation hasn't changed, still present. So in such cases, when the reporting verb is in present tense, like says, the rest of the sentence doesn't change or undergoes doesn't undergo the change in the tense change, tense change. Okay, then the fourth change of proximity. That's already clear that the place and time change that happens. For example, now becomes then, this day, today, this place becomes that day, that place, that day. Okay. Similarly, yesterday is near, the previous day is past, tomorrow takes the next day. So here becomes there, like that. Okay. So again, you can refer to the PPT below for the details of the changes that take place as per time and place, nearness or proximity change. Anyhow, so likewise, we can observe the different changes that happen. So going through these 4 changes, you can change the direct speech into indirect speech in a very simple way. So friends, in this video today, we came to know about the 4 important changes that we make while changing direct speech into indirect speech or reported speech. Those 4 changes are change in the reporting verb, change in the pronoun, change in the tense, and change in the proximity or nearness. Okay, for supporting your further reading, I have given a link of PowerPoint presentation, PPT, below in the description. I have also supplied you some reading material, some content, and also I have given a short test in my PPT, and I give the link below for that. And the answer to those questions are also provided here. So please make use of this. And if you find any more queries related to this, kindly send me to the email given in the description. So thank you for watching the video.